Hello everyone. Welcome back students. I am Divya Verma, teacher of Social Studies, Class 7, Mount Literacy School, Jhansi. So students, now we are going to start lesson number 6 of history, that is towns, traders and craft persons. Okay? Let's begin this chapter now. As in some previous chapters, we had seen some empires, some dynasties ruling on India, and then we have seen some cultures. Now we'll be talking about some major towns, traders, and craft persons. So we are going to see some types of towns here, but before that, I want to tell you about the heading, that is towns, traders and craft person, how they are connected with each other. Like, now there are some craft persons who make things, who manufacture the things. Then there are some traders to sell those craft things, and then these traders go to particular towns to sell these things or export these things. Like, craft person will make the things, and traders, they will import and export and move to different towns according to different activities. Okay, before talking about major and different types of towns, we will first talk about the process of urbanization, how urbanization took place in India. Now if we talk about urbanization, then the first phase of urbanization was the Indus Valley civilization, as discussed earlier, and you also must have studied in class 6th also about Indus Valley civilization. And the second phase happened in the Gangetic Plain during the pre-Mauryan times, and the third phase lies between 8th to 18th century, where India saw the third phase of urbanization. Then slowly and gradually towns started setting up at various places. Like, the towns emerged as important sites for activities like administration, military activity, industry, commerce, maritime trade, religion or education. So such activities were based on the work done by various persons. When many a times the same town became a center for more than two activities as well. Okay, so based on their specialized functions, towns can be classified as administrative town, temple and pilgrimage centers, commercial town, port town, and one more can be there is craft production centers. So let us first discuss about the first type of town, that is administrative centers or court town we can say. Okay, so here some towns were headquarters for administration of the empire, as you all know. Like example, Thanjavur of Chola dynasty, or we can say Agra, Delhi, where Mughals used to rule. Yes or no? So these are such kinds of administrative centers. ये वो टाउन होते थे जहाँ पर किंग एंड क्वीन यूज्ड टू एडमिनिस्टर द टाउन. But slowly, after some time, these towns grew and became commercial and industrial centers like Delhi, Agra, Ahmedabad and Patna, and many more administrative towns were there. There were big palaces with mandapas that we have talked about in the previous chapter. There were then barracks for army. Kings also issued orders to subordinate. Then there were markets as well, as I have told you, commercial industrial center में change हो गया था. Then items used to sold over there like grains, spices, jewelry. Then flags also used to make, and then bronze idols also used to make over there. So such towns which also became commercial and industrial center as well. जैसे मैंने बताया था, at one place more than one activity also exists. So now let us talk about some another type of town, that is temple town, or we can say pilgrimage centers. Temple towns आप समझ रहे होंगे जहाँ पर temples होते हैं, and slowly they became the pilgrimage centers as well. Like, many capital cities also became the major temple town of the time, as it was where the kings lived and also a sacred place for the royal deity. There was Raja Rajeshwara temple built by Raja Raja Chola. Their architect Kunjara Malan Raja was there. Then temples were the centers of economic and social activities as well. जहाँ पर there were so many sellers who used to make the things and sell near the temple. आप लोग को पता होगा fair used to be there. आसपास मेले लगते हैं, वहाँ पर बहुत से लोग अपने अपने प्रोडक्ट्स लाके हाथ से बना के इवन दे कम एंड सेल देयर प्रोडक्ट्स ओवर देयर. अब कुछ टेम्पल टाउन्स वर ऑल्सो became the administrative center as well. जैसे Chola dynasty also ruled at some temples over there. So this way they administer that town as well. So they became the administrative center. अब ऐसे ही pilgrimage center slowly developed into townships like Vrindavan and Tiruvannamalai. They are such type of towns. Then the necessities to fulfill the needs of the pilgrim made people from different professions to settle around temples. This created the foundations for capital city as an economic center as well. तो ये कुछ टेम्पल टाउन्स के एग्जाम्पल हैं लाइक वृंदावन, विदिशा, सोमनाथ, मदुरई, तिरुपति एंड देन तिरुवन्नमलाई, जो कुछ कुछ जगहों पर लोकेटेड हैं. Understood? Now, some pilgrimage centers like Banaras didn't have large population of their own, but population increased whenever there was some religious occasion. समझ रहे हैं? मतलब कुछ religious occasions पर वहाँ पर pilgrims लोग आते हैं and that place used to be too much populated at that time. Some rulers built temples to demonstrate their devotion to various deities, and the reason for the growth of temple towns were like huge funds in the form of land grants and donations by rulers, nobles and pilgrims. And another reason for the growth of temple town were rich merchants, priests, workers, artisans, etc. who settled near the temples, and these areas later developed into some townships. So this was all about the temple town. Now let us talk about some commercial town or trade town जहाँ पर ट्रेड होता है. So towns that remained primarily commercial centers were called commercial towns. Like Dhaka in Bengal and Multan in present-day Pakistan were great commercial centers. And so the things that were used in trade were like textile goods, clothes, drugs, spices. These were the important things which were traded from one place to another. Now the another is the port town. As the traders in South India conducted their commerce beyond Southeast Asia with the ports of Red Sea, Persian Gulf and East Africa, trade increased, and then some of the important port towns were also developed like Surat, Cambay, Bhuj, Lahore, Bandar and Rajmahal. Even Abul Fazl has written about Bhuj as a great port town, and Jahangir mentions Cambay as the largest port town where around 200 ships landed in a day. Understanding? So, with the help of these port towns, trade increased day by day, and some crafts like cloth making, spinning and dyeing became specialized and independent craft. And chintz was one such type of wood block printed and painted cotton textile which was produced in India from 1600 to 1800. Means this all worked just because of the port towns. Now the another is craft production centers, which means where the crafts are produced. Means with the development of towns, hundreds of rural craftsmen, skilled workers and adventurous entrepreneurs moved to the rising cities and towns just for the development, just for increasing their activities in big cities and towns. And the patronizing of the indigenous craftsmen by the rulers gave rise to town and city population. This way, the urban centers promoted the production as well as sale of handicrafts. Here are some craftsmen communities based on the craft they were famous for, like Bidar. Bidar were famous for inlay work or Bidri in copper and silver. Then the Panchalas and Vishkarma for palaces building and big buildings, tanks and all. Then Salyar and Kaikolas weavers were for creating flags. Then Sthapatis and sculptures of Swami Malai were for bronze idols and tall ornamental bell and metal lamps. Then Kanchipuram is for sari weaving. So this way these were all craftsmen communities which were famous for their craft. Okay, so these were about some types of towns we talked today in this session. Now in the next session we'll be talking about some more topics of this chapter, like we'll be seeing major towns like Surat, Hampi and Masulipatam, and about some new towns and traders established in India. So read the chapter 6 of history. Thank you.